Welcome back on The Real Room with your host, Lucretia Mitchell. Today, we are diving in just a little bit deeper with our special guest for this series, Dear Younger Me, Nehemiah.
Hey y'all, I'm back.
Back. All right, so last episode, we talked about just our dreams and a few things that shaped you into who you are today. I think it's important for us to give people a little bit of context. And so I want you to share your story and just our journey in your words. I think we've kind of dabbled with this for so many years now and how we should go about it. But I think the biggest thing for us was getting the word out, just because we knew that it could help other people that are going through similar journeys, similar situations. And so, I just want you to start with your earliest memory of us.
Okay. My earliest memory. I wish I can remember like the times where we were living in the old house and stuff like that. I remember like little
And the old house is Mimi and Papa.
Mimi and Papa.
Yeah.
So we lived right next to my Mimi and Papa. What was it? Miyumani? Lived there for how long?
So 2000, the end of 2007. So probably December 2007 until we moved out with Daddy.
Okay, so December 2007, I was only 1 year old, about to turn 2. So I really don't remember that much, but I remember like little things. I remember the times that I got hurt. That's what I remember. I remember my grandparents had these concrete like stairs when you walked up into the house. And I remember there was a time they had bushes like right where the concrete, and I remember there was a time where I slipped through. I still have the bruise on my knee to this day. Like you can see the little dark spot. And I remember that. I remember in our house, like next to them, I had put my hand on the iron, like the little like iron
The
thing.
furnace.
Was it the furnace? I thought it had to be the iron, because it was like right on my hand.
Okay, so the ironing, like we were ironing something.
Yes, and I put my hand on it, and I remember I was like crying, and I had it like wrap it up and all of that. But I just remember those little things. But where my memory like really starts is when I was in elementary school. We had just moved to Edmond, and I was starting second grade, and my biological father and my mom had, when you do like split times. So I was with my mom Monday, Tuesday, and my biological father Wednesday, Thursday, and then we alternated on the weekends. I hated that as a kid. I hated having to like bring stuff, pack stuff, whatever. It was just like a lot for me, especially in the second grade. All I cared about was like Barbies and Justin Bieber. Like I didn't care about any of that and doing all of that. And I think that's when my relationship with us kind of grew fonder, because I wanted to be with my mom all the time. I wanted to stay with her a little bit longer. I wanted to just be with her. And I think that's why we are so close, because like my heart was just like, I need my mama. Like, and I became a mama's girl for sure. I think I am a mama's girl. I'm a daddy's girl too, with Daddy, but
not as much.
But I'm a mama's girl for sure. But second grade, third, fourth, and fifth, it was just like, I just like wanted to be with my mom, and I just, didn't like the switching and, the alternating and all of that. So that's when stuff started getting a little real and hard for me. And I felt like I fell into like a depression type of feel. And I think that started earlier. Obviously, I didn't know what depression was or anxiety was at the age, but now that I'm looking back, I definitely think I was in those state of mind, because I just felt like this dark kind of cloud over myself. And there's moments where I'm just like, I hate it. Like, I hate it here. I just hated everything. And I just was just like really moody. I did get in trouble when I was little.
A lot.
And
you are your mother's child.
Yes, because she sure did too. But I think most of the time I knew, and I think I was a little smarter. I knew if I had to get sent home, I would go home to my mom. And so it started becoming like a little
wait,
cycle.
Hold on. I don't think that just hit me until now. Like, when I say this girl got in trouble every week. So my husband, Chai, her dad, literally, he worked overnight at that time at the sleep lab.
Yeah.
And he would have to basically pick her up almost, it almost seemed like every other day, y'all. Because she was getting in trouble. And now that you say that, it's like, okay, I get it. That was your way, like, of help me. Like, I want to go be with my mom.
Yeah. And so that's how I knew, like, I was going to be able, because I knew my dad was going to have to pick me up every time. And I would go home with my mom. And so, I think that was my way of getting in trouble. They used to say, no, you're just bad, blah, blah, blah. But no, I genuinely feel like that was my way of being like, I want to be with my mom full time. I didn't have that choice until I was 11 or 12?
Actually, it was early. I think you started talking about it around 8 or so.
Yeah,
I think
started
you were
talking about it
9 when I actually went.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you have to be a certain age to, like, say,
well,
right?
Yes and no, and I don't know legal stuff like that. I just knew at the time that my baby was crying out for help.
Yeah.
And it was one particular moment. I'm trying not to cry.
Oh my God. Don't start.
I'm sorry.
I'm not crying. So
it was one particular moment. I remember we were getting ready to drop you off at your biological father's house. And me and Dad was in the car. And I remember you grabbing onto that door and screaming and hollering. And I looked at your daddy and I said, I can't do this no more. Like, something's not right. And I felt it in my soul. You know, most of the time I think we just counted it as, okay, you know, she likes it. You know, how kids are. Like, you like it over here more, you know, whatever the case may be. And I want to be very clear for people so we give them understanding. Who you call who. So your biological father is your biological father.
And my dad is my dad, which is
my husband.
Her husband.
And your dad would say to me, like, Cree, which is my nickname, y'all. I got to give y'all context.
Yeah. Cree. Cree, whatever.
He was just like, you know, there's nothing you can do. Like, you know, she has to go over there, you know. And I think for me, I did everything I could, one, to never talk about your biological father.
Yes, that's one thing that I think a lot of, when going through divorce, like, parents, that's some things that moms or even dads lack, is not talking bad about the other parent. I feel like that I see that all the time. Like, we'll be like, oh, your dad is this or your mom's this. Like, whenever we watch crime shows and we see, like, divorced parents, and you can tell, like, the kid is being said from each side something. Something about and that's one thing that my mom never did, and I thank her for that, was never talking bad about my biological father to me. She never said anything that she went through with him. She never told me that until I literally had to beg her to tell me.
And that was when you were 16 or 17.
When I was 15 years old, like, in high school.
Yeah.
I remember I was we were in the bathroom and you were getting ready for something, and I was just like, Mom, like, tell me, like, how this. And she's like, well, I'm gonna tell you a little bit, but when you're, like, older, I'll give you, like, the real. And so that's one thing. And she also did that for Imani as well. You never ever talked bad about my biological father or anything like that. She let me figure out on my own.
And that's one thing I tell them now, like, there was no playbook. There was no, this is how you're supposed to be a parent at this young age. You know, there was never that. And so what I never wanted to do was taint your relationship or the potential of a relationship with them, because I tell them this all the time. I had a father growing up.
Yeah.
My daddy was very present in my life. So I don't know what it's like to not have that. And I couldn't teach them how to maneuver or navigate through that.
Right.
And so I got you, Miss Rose. Oh my God.
I love
Miss Rose. Was their therapist.
I will forever think, like, I'm so glad we had her when we had
Miss Rose, if you're out there, oh
my God. You remember us.
Like,
you helped,
okay?
You were the best.
And so I tell anybody that is ever in my situation, in the situation that I was, therapy is real. Like, it is needed. I didn't know how to teach them to be women with that void in their life. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I can't.
And to clarify, we did have daddy.
You had daddy, but very much that, so. Like, so he was there when they were 1 and 4.
Yeah. So so genuinely, I have known daddy my whole life. That's what I know. And so, but also I knew that I had a biological father, but I knew I had my dad. And so and he was there, I mean, through everything. So, and you know, he didn't have to, but he
did.
He took us in like we're his own. And
hence why
I changed my last name and to his last name, because that's what I felt was right.
And that was a conversation that we had, and I kept saying no.
Oh my. I would be like, Mom, if you ask me again, like, seriously, stop. I came to you, I want to say summer of 2020. Or was it the summer of 2021?
No, you started asking years
before, but I really started picking up, because I remember we got it done my sophomore year
of high school.
So
2021.
Yes. So, but I think I really started picking it back up that summer.
Yeah, she did.
I started picking it up back that summer, like, Mom,
and I kept saying no, because one, just it wasn't anything like that my husband didn't do. Like, he's a man and he is an amazing man and father and dad to them. But for me, I don't know. It was just a sense of, I don't know. I don't even know why I felt like a sense of respect for your I don't know why.
I think you just like what they're going to say, what they're...
And I was somewhat worried about that for you.
Yeah.
Not for me, but for you. And even at that time, when I did finally say, you know what, okay, fine.
Yeah.
You know, I knew that there would probably be somewhat of a fight, but and then I said, you know what, maybe it won't be. I don't know at that time. Like, I don't know. But this is something that you have been asking me for several years that I kept pushing off. And, you know, I wanted you, if that's what you wanted, to have that.
Right. And that's what I wanted. And so once the summer came, I think I just got really more like anxious about it. I was just like, this is what I feel like. I feel like this is my dad, and I want to carry his last name, and maybe for a few years until I get married, but
hopefully like 10 or 15 years. Thank you.
But still, like, I'm just saying, I didn't care how long I was gonna have his last name. I wanted to have his last name, and so we planned it. It was a secret because we were gonna
surprise him for Christmas,
and we did. And he cried, and my dad does not cry. We've only seen him, or Mom's probably seen him cry a lot, but me and my sister have only seen him cry maybe once when Pawpaw died. But that was the only time we've seen him cry. So to see him cry was just like, wow. I was like, wow, that really touched him. But it was a really exciting day. Well, almost really exciting day when we got to the court. My great grandpa, her grandpa, works
for Cleo Fields.
Yes. Love my papa Cleo, the sweetest man alive, literally. But he was working, and did we see him?
I think we saw him before we went up.
We went up. It was the quickest situation ever. I mean, it was just like
on time, everything.
Like, it was just like, okay, there you have it. And then they started. It was done. Yeah. Then they were like, well, get your name changed in the system and whatnot. And so it was just.
And that was December the 16th. We were able to surprise Daddy December 25th for Christmas.
Yeah, for Christmas.
Yeah. So that was amazing.
Yeah, that was December 16th. I remember
amazing.
That was, yeah.
So let me ask you this. I mean, just looking back now on everything that, you've been through, like, what would you tell, because we've been talking about this for a while, like, what is it that you want other people to know that are going through maybe a similar situation? Like, what do you want them to know?
It's gonna be okay. I promise you. There was a time in my life where it was like, I was just like, when is this gonna stop? When am I gonna be able to, do what I want to do? And
do what you want to do? How? Because now you sound like I just want to do whatever I want to do. So but
I mean, like, as in be with my mother.
Okay, got you.
But it's gonna be okay. There was just times in my life where I was just kind of like, I'm talking about in my situation, I was just done, and I just was over it, and I wanted everything to end, and I was just like very in a dark state of mind, and it's gonna be okay. I promise you. Like my mom said, therapy is top tier. I recommend therapy to everyone. Like, you don't even have to go through such like you don't have to have like a hard life, or, have this crazy backstory. Like, therapy is just a good way to open up. And also journaling. My mom journals. I don't like journaling. I rather yap and rant all the time to somebody that doesn't know my life. And I think that's like the biggest thing, is like, you're talking to someone who really doesn't know you, and you get to kind of just give them the spill of who you are and what your life is and all of that. And so I think therapy is just like a big thing.
That helped.
Like, I really recommend therapy to people. I still am in therapy now, but it's just like, I just think that really helped me at the time, and I didn't realize it helped me until now.
Yeah,
but it definitely helped me. So just know that you're gonna be okay. Everything is gonna work out the way that it's supposed to. And therapy, that's for sure.
So I want to keep it real with you. At that time in my life, I didn't have a whole lot of money. And I think we were on state assistance. And so if you're out there and you're like, I can't afford therapy, I can't do this, just know that even if you're on state assistance or whatever insurance you got, like, there's help out there. There's people that are willing to work with you. And it took us a couple of rounds of therapist to find Miss Rose. She was like a rose in a garden, y'all.
Guys, she was the best. I think about that lady all the time. She was just so, she was so sweet and just, oh my gosh, I wish we knew where she was.
Oh my gosh. She went to the girls' school. She came and picked them up. She took them with her kids. Like, and at the time, I'm basically a single mother trying to help my kids navigate through all of this and work full time, go to school full time, right? And she was just heaven sent. She's a rare one. Let me say that. But yeah,
I'm thinking about, I want to find her. She really was like I think there was one time, maybe a year or two ago, like, I thought about, I was like, where is Miss Rose at?
And her kids are probably the same age as y'all.
Exactly. Like, they're probably grown. She had red hair, didn't she? Red hair. She's pale skin.
If anybody knows where Miss Rose is, please tell her we're looking for her.
Like,
I don't remember.
Y'all, like, that makes me so mad that we don't have any contact with her
anyway. But just to think through, like, therapy was definitely something that helped. I would say having Mimi and Pawpaw there was heaven sent. Like,
they were just like another like extra hands for my mom, because like my mom said,
and extra parents.
Yeah, extra parents. Like, they, like, genuinely, they were like my second parents. Like, me and my sister, like, I guess the like perk of living right next to them is being able to go over there anytime we wanted. And so when my mom was working full time and going to school, she needed that help, and they were there, and so was Tay, and I mean, we had Uncle Chris, like, we had everyone, like,
and I think that's
also a big reason of
oh my God,
why we're here. Like,
just having that solid family foundation is so key. And
family's so important.
Man, I mean, I strongly believe you guys are the young women that y'all are. It's not because of just me and Daddy. It's a village. It took a village to raise you guys. And I thank God for your daddy, who was so supportive and so understanding. And just came in and just...
She had 2 kids and they were young.
Yeah.
And he just
came in like nothing.
It was nothing.
Yeah. And so we've been blessed to have a strong foundation. But again, I cannot stress enough, like, even now, therapy, family. So key.
I mean, family is just so big. Like, we had everyone. We had Mimi and Pawpaw, Tay and Uncle Chris. We had Aunt Cherie and Uncle Dondi. We had Grandma. We had Uncle Oliver. I mean, we had and I think that's why, like, I love our family, is because we are such, like, a tight-knit group.
Yeah.
And we check up on each other, and
family group texts.
Yes, like, it's just, and that's why I feel like I was so drawn. And why I was like
to wanting to be with
my mom full time, because I just loved, not trying to put nobody down or anything, I'm just saying, like, it was just like a different type of love, being
around all of that love.
Like, it was just like so much love, so much, and I felt like I was missing stuff also. I hated that feeling, like, missing stuff. Like, my sister did travel basketball, and I would hate that I would miss, like, even though I hated being in the gym all the time, but, like, I hated missing when y'all would go some places, or, like, even, like, holidays. Like, if I hated that. Like, I genuinely hated that, and I wish, like, I wish that I was able to be there for all of those things, but I do think what was supposed to happen was supposed to happen, and that's okay, because I'm happier than ever. And but it was just those little things that I would, that really, like, stuck with me, and I'm like, dang, I'm missing this and I'm missing that, and I don't know, it's just like that time.
So now that the people have context, and just our story and everything, is there anything that you want to leave them with, that you want to say to just a mother or a father or a daughter, or just anybody in general? Hey, this happened to me, and look, I'm okay. Is there anything additional that you want to share?
So, to mothers and fathers, and I'll do both, but to mothers and fathers, whenever you go through a divorce and you're sharing custody, my biggest thing is to check in on your child all the time. Like, some kids will find that annoying, but there are some kids who wish that they were getting annoyed with text from their parents being like, hey, when can I see you, this, that, and the other. That's something that I wish I had, and I didn't. And so I would definitely say that checking in on your child whenever you're not, when you're not with them, or you don't have them that day or that week, check in on your child, because it goes a long way, and you don't lose that relationship with your child. And so that's what I would say to mothers and fathers, because it can happen to either
Yeah.
or. To the kids, like, it's gonna be okay. Like I said earlier, therapy is gonna be your biggest thing, your best friend. And just know that no matter what happened between your parents, it's never your fault. It never was your fault. That has nothing to do with you. You just happened to come out of that situation, and
Yeah.
it's okay. And you're never at fault. That's something that I struggled with, was thinking like, why me? Why did I have to be in this situation? Why? Like, I would question God a lot. Why would you put me in this situation? Why do I have to go through these things? Why do I have to have the parents that are divorced, and I have to share custody, and I have to go back and forth, when all my friends don't have to do that and they get to live in a two-parent household, and this, that? And that's the questions that and those are legit the questions I would say in my head and say to myself all the time when I was younger. And so never do that, because it is going to make things 10 times worse for you, because then you're going to get in this state of mind and it's going to get really dark. And I think that's kind of where it came from me, is, kind of almost like blaming it on myself, that I'm the reason that all of this happened, when in reality it wasn't my fault, and it never was. In reality, you didn't ask to be here. You just got put in a situation, and it's how you go about it, and it's how you
Respond to it.
yeah, respond to it. And I think that was like the biggest thing for me, is I had a support system to help me, respond to it very well. And so just don't think that it's your fault, because it never was your fault. But I think that that's my thing for sure. Big on the parent thing. The parent thing is that, I think that's
The big
the big
one.
thing for me, because
Yeah.
that's what I had to go through, is having a parent not, check up here and there. It's worse for your relationship, and very taunting, because there's going to be a time where the child's like, you know what? I don't want a relationship with you anymore, and I don't want to, talk anymore. And that's kind of how, it sucks, but that's kind of how I am now. And my mom never wanted that. Like she said, she always wanted to, let us know that it never was our fault, and she never ever talked about our biological father or anything like that. So I think that was like my biggest thing, was I'm a very like, I love communication with people. So when it's just like a here and there, it's not.
Makes it hard
Yeah,
to
it
really
makes it
develop.
hard to, continue a relationship. And so I would say that, because kids are at the point where they just don't care anymore. That's just how society is today. You do something wrong, they'll drop you real fast, and they just don't care. So, and I think that's just like the real of it. So, that for sure. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I always say, there's gonna be a time in your life where you're gonna have to choose whether or not you want to extend grace.
Yeah.
And forgiveness is going to be a big part of that, right? I think we hold back on this actual conversation in front of folks and all of the things, just out of respect more for your daddy, because it does not diminish the man that he is, that is y'all's daddy, that is the man that's gonna walk y'all down the aisle, all the things.
Yep.
Right? But I think it's important for people to understand that we go through things in our lives that can truly make or break us if we allow it to. And I am so grateful to God that my prayers, that your Mimi's prayers, your grandma's prayers kept y'all from breaking.
Yeah.
Right. And I thank God that you are the young woman that you are, and that you see what you see now. That was my hope, is that this will be your testimony.
Yeah.
This will be your story to be able to help other people. That's what we're here for, is to help and show the love of God. And you are going to be that light for somebody that is dealing with what you had to deal with and what you're still currently dealing with, right? And my prayer was that God would use you in a way that would be able to help other people that are dealing with this out of that dark state, and you be the light for them. And so I thank God. I thank you for sharing and being honest. And I'm just excited about what God is going to do through just this episode and through you and your sisters, honestly. So yeah. Is there anything else, my dear?
A little touch on the like forgiveness thing. You can forgive whenever you are ready to. Never think that it has to be now or later, because I'm not in that state right now. I don't think, and honestly, I don't think I'll be in it next year or the year after. It may take 10, 20 years for me to, you know, be okay and forgive. But it's just, there's never a time limit, or like you have like a timer on when you need to forgive someone that hurts you or does something to you. Forgive on your own time whenever you feel like it. That's kind of how I've been telling myself. You don't have to forgive tomorrow or in the next hour. Forgive when you want to forgive, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to forgive when I want to forgive and keep on with the move on.
Well, you have it. Thank you again
You're
being
welcome.
here, for sharing your story. And thank you all. I hope that you enjoyed your tea or your coffee. I hope you had your seatbelt buckled. But we thank you for stepping into the real room today with us. We hope truly that this reaches someone who needed to hear it, and this helps you to be able to navigate a little bit easier through the relationships and the circumstances that you're dealing with, if it's similar. And we hope that you can always keep it real. Until the next time, see you in the real room.